Carpe diem, my name is Ultranatic, and welcome back to another total drama review. This is where I, as a lover of animation and reality shows, look over the show that combine them together the best. And we're looking over the 5th episode of Total Drama Island, Not Quite Famous. Or as I'd like to call it, Total Drama's Got Talent. Yeah, we're delving into new territory here. Unlike the other episodes, which were primarily Survivor if it was played in high school, this is the first episode that pays homage to other reality shows, specifically talent shows. I guess all those mentions of this show being a talent show were foreshadowing.
So you mean this show is at a crappy summer camp and not on some big stage or something?
You got it!
I thought this was going to be a talent contest!
Yeah! No.
Well, obviously this won't be a legit display of talent. It'll still be an excuse for a lot of character-based jokes. Does it work? Well, get your red X's ready in case it doesn't. This is Not Quite Famous. We start with a recap of new footage, which is clearly just reused animation from the first episode.
Who will crumble under the pressure? Find out here, right now, on Who Will Sink and Who Will Stay Afloat. Find out right now.
I know in the last review I said they'd repeat a lot of stuff, but I didn't think that would include the animation. What does this show think it is, Sailor Moon? We then get an actual honest-to-God prologue with a funny exchange between Lindsay and Gwen.
I'm on a fake tanner already!
That's tragic, Lindsay.
Now I have to actually suntan. In the sun! Do you realize how shriveled and wrinkly that can make your skin? Oh, you totally do.
And it's a good thing it's funny, because the scene has nothing to do with the rest of the episode. Well, okay, except for a distraction for later, but we'll get to that. But as I pointed out in my big sleep review, it's just refreshing to see an actual bit of camp life for once. Even if it's a pointless little piece of small talk. It's kind of like Alice through a looking glass. Objectively not very good, but has enough wonder in it to where you can at least appreciate those smaller moments. Not the book, the stupid movie.
Everyone parts with everything eventually, my dear.
So the teens meet at this new amphitheater where Trent offers Gwen a seat, and Cody tries sitting close by and mimicking Trent's movements. Trust me, Cody, you're way more interesting than Trent. Please don't try to be him. It'd be like Sean Connery trying to be William Hurt.
I love you, wife.
Don't even step into that black hole. We see Lindsay is still flirting with Tyler, as Chris comes to announce the next challenge. A motocross race. Haha, no, that's later. It's a talent show.
Yes! Awesome! Sing, dance, juggle. Anything goes, as long as it's legal.
Oh, then I can't be in it. What legal talent do I have? This face! It's a crime to be cuter than this. Watched right out of that one, didn't I? So the Gophers are being judged by their self-proclaimed captain, Heather.
Wait, who said you were team captain?
Lindsay, Beth, and I took a vote, and I won.
Threatening them to vote for you isn't exactly democratic.
Oddly enough, Heather being the leader kinda makes sense. If you ignore the whole not wanting to get her hair wet from the cliff dive thing, which I stand by should not be the first reason you choose to not dive off a 1,000-foot cliff casualty counter. Heather's been a major participator and motivator in the challenges thus far. In fact, that's one of Heather's most admirable traits to me. She's not just a typical mean girl like you see from other high school dramas. She's a full-throttle competitor, and doesn't shy away from it. It's actually something I'm really happy to see in a contestant.
I am so running this game.
Also, I honestly forgot what started Gwen and Heather's rivalry, but it's good to be reminded that it wasn't just fabricated out of nothing. Heather assumed authority, Gwen questioned it, Heather disliked that, and then exacted revenge. That's a pretty solid foundation for a feud. As solid as being thrown off a cliff, and that one has an edge on the other, pun intended. So the rest of the first half is mostly other auditions, which range from alright
I can stand on my hands for 20 minutes.
to pretty stupid. We do get a few highlights like Owen burping the alphabet,
A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
a gross joke which I can get behind. That was amazing. You actually pulled me in, Owen.
Well, you're not going to do that in this contest. That's disgusting.
I can also toot Beethoven's Fifth.
No.
And you lost me. Well, it was nice while it lasted. We also get another reference to Mean Girls.
Can you keep a secret?
My sister got diarrhea once on a date. I've never told a soul.
Gretchen, I'm sorry I laughed at you that time you got diarrhea at Barnes & Noble, and I'm sorry for repeating it now.
Mixed with a reference to a famous talent judge.
Sorry, Paula.
Good night, everybody.
And we see Lindsay making out with Tyler while tied up by yo-yo strings. God, those two are adorable. Oh, and that moment was dumb when Lindsay got sidetracked away from the group, as Heather requests she spy on Gwen to find any dirt on her.
Ooh, that's not boring.
Lindsay is clearly the next spy kid, or teen, as you can see.
You do know what a spy is, right?
The three acts to be picked by the bass are Courtney's violin, Jeff's skateboard, and DJ's ribbon dance.
Fine, sign him up.
Huh, oddly specific that he packed that. I mean, how many survival challenges require a leotard and a string on a stick? I guess it's as plausible as Heather having her ballet costume, and she's picked for the talent show with Trent's guitar. But who's the third act? Huh, I guess I was right. Beauty is a talent you can use. Actually, I already knew that. Hollywood's made that distinction for decades. We see Cody try to hit on Gwen while she's trying to be alone.
What you got there, a journal?
Eat it.
This reminds me greatly of My Little Pony, specifically Spike's crush on Rarity. Except here, the boy liking the girl isn't quite as questionable, since they're both the same age. It's pretty much innocent. I completely take that back. What made him think that was a good idea? I'm sorry, if Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame does it, my guess is it won't get you a mere badge of purity. Just saying.
I know what you're imagining.
You just smell really pretty.
It's just soap.
Actually, it makes a little too much sense. After all, Gwen did throw him out when he walked into the girls' cabin in the first episode. I don't think I've ever seen a perv more obvious, dude.
I need to swim just to cool off.
Oh, and he peers at her while changing. Okay, Cody, she has the right to call the show security on you. Wait.
Other than myself, you'll be unsupervised.
Never mind, but good luck getting literally any other girl. As Gwen and Trent leave, Heather devises a plan to find Gwen's diary for revenge against her speaking out.
This won't end well.
Meanwhile, the Bass are practicing, and they're really curious if Bridget can stand on her hands for 20 minutes like she said.
Wanna bet that I can't?
Oh, you're on.
Yeah, that's like virtually impossible.
Well, let's find out in this obviously good idea for the sake of the plot. Unfortunately, she gets her foot stuck in a rope, giving an injury to Courtney,
Oh, crap!
and destroying her instrument.
Oh, my Stradivarius!
So after another rude interruption from Cody, Gwen tries to go back to the cabin, but Lindsay distracts her with that prologue scene from earlier while Heather's looking for her diary.
Stay here. We can get tans together. And you could totally use one. Do you realize how shriveled and wrinkly that can make your skin? Oh, you totally do.
Well, that scene exerted its usefulness.
Are you gonna move, or do I have to throw you out of my way?
But I have martial arts training.
Yeah, she threw Cody out of the cabin in the first episode and can rip up the War and Peace of contracts. In comparison, she'd snap you in half like a graham cracker. It doesn't matter, as Heather has what she came for.
Yes! She is so dead.
Oh, and remember in the last episode how Heather tried to taunt the Bass to psych them out?
Hey, it's 2-0. How does it feel to suck so much?
And they ended up winning despite that? Well, she tries it again. Guess what's gonna happen later?
No one would sabotage their own teammate, unless they maybe felt threatened.
We cut to the talent show as we see Justin doing that thing Nick did in the talent show episode of Jimmy Neutron.
You've got some moves, dude. Let's see what Grandmaster Chef thinks. Not much.
And after we see DJ fail, Trent comes on stage to play his song.
They say that we've only got summer, and I say that's really a bummer.
Yes, it's our old friend, the white guy with acoustic guitar.
He gets on the board and Bridget tries her talent for the crowd. But considering she ate more than, well, Owen before performing, she throws up on literally everything. Congratulations, George Bush Sr., you're no longer the most infamous puke in history. Okay, that's a lie, but it's still pretty embarrassing.
So in a strange turn of events, Bridget's Chunk Flowing Fest registered 2 thumbs up by Grandmaster Chef.
So next up is Heather, but rather than do her act, she does the simultaneously in and out of character moment of just reading Gwen's diary.
But instead, I want to celebrate team spirit with a collaboration.
This is out of character because we know she wants to win challenges and this is essentially throwing one. But in character,
Because she's a big, fat, stupid bitch. Don't say it, Cartman.
And she reveals the awful truth. Gwen is secretly a Pegasister! Oh wait, that wasn't a thing yet. Okay, Gwen is secretly a lesbian! Oh, she has 2 boyfriends throughout the show. Gwen's favorite movie is The Last Airbender? No one buys it either? Good, because we get nothing like that. It's just revealing she has a crush on Trent.
I know it's a cliche, but I love guys who play guitar.
Now yes, that would be a jaw-dropping moment on Gwen's behalf, except for one tiny problem. Everyone already knows! Well, I guess Cody didn't, but you and Trent haven't really hidden your attraction to each other, or anybody else for that matter. Heather caught on pretty quickly. So what's secret about this? Not to mention, the entire viewing public already knows. So why is it more embarrassing to just hear 18 other people find out? And weirdly enough, this moment has happened on previous reality shows too, where a piece of information that millions watching know is suddenly embarrassing or shameful when only a dozen more find out.
I didn't tell you those for you to go and blab around the house to use against me.
I mean, the worst that can come from this is that it turns out Trent doesn't like her. And let's see, does Trent distance himself from her throughout the show?
Can I walk with you?
No.
Hey, if this is about that whole diary thing...
No? Well then yeah, this humiliation doesn't really amount to much. I mean, in the moment it does, but it almost never comes up again throughout the season. Nor does the cliff throwing incident either. Dang, people just get over horrible, simple acts of inhumanity really quickly, don't they? So Heather doesn't get scored for that act, I guess because it didn't count as one? Dude, if someone had the guts to read another person's diary on stage, I'd give them full points. Well, either way, the Gophers still have a large lead over the Bass, and it doesn't help that Jeff breaks his skateboard right before his performance. So the Bass have to find a replacement, and because they had no faith in Harold last episode, they suddenly need him now just like then.
Just go for it, Harold. What have you got to lose?
The challenge. Duh. And it turns out Harold's a pretty good beatboxer. And yeah, I prefer these 30 seconds to the entirety of Napoleon Dynamite. Seriously, I can't stand that movie. So Harold wins it for his team. Somehow. Yeah, it was 13-15 score-wise, so I guess the win went to the best act overall. Again, this show really thoroughly explains the rules to each challenge, don't they? Actually, this one constitutes both folders! It's a special day for all of us. So the Gophers go to the campfire ceremony, and this is the part of the episode that eludes me the most. You know how this show, unlike other shows where you vote people off, doesn't have a voting history or anything? Well, this is the closest we ever get to an explanation of who voted for who. But even then, nothing adds up. Heather gets Lindsay, Beth, Izzy, and Owen to all vote Justin. But since aside from Heather, there's little reason to vote anyone else out, except for that, I'm gonna assume that Justin voted for Heather, along with Gwen and Lashana for obvious reasons, and Cody and Trent for being supporters of Gwen. So why wasn't there a tie? Unless Justin voted differently? And a bigger question, why Justin? What did he do to make Heather go after him? I mean, yeah, within the show, he's the guy who needed to leave out of all the Gophers, since we hear more words out of Snoopy's mouth. But couldn't she have voted out Lashana, the girl who threw her off a cliff? No, I'm not letting that go. Or Gwen, her newly found enemy who would likely try to get back at Heather for the dastardly deed? She could have easily swung Justin over as a 6th vote, so why didn't she? Again, Heather's great to watch, just very confusing as a strategist.
Well, at least I'm popular.
Anyways, it works as Justin goes home. And yeah, what I just said about Gwen exacting revenge? Yeah, she does that by going over to Harold and asking for something specific.
Did you say you brought a red ant farm with you?
Yes.
Huh, so along with a ballet and ribbon dancing outfit, someone packed a red ant farm. These are some weird teens.
Sweet dreams, everyone.
Heather gets attacked by ants, Gwen goes to sleep happily, and the episode ends. So that was not quite famous. Solid 6 out of 10. I guess it's set in stone future events for the show, and we do get a touch more strategy, but aside from that, nothing much stands out about this episode. If you took out everything revolving around Gwen and Heather, you wouldn't miss much. I don't discourage the episode, it's just nothing special. Which is a shame, this could have been a lot funnier. Making fun of talent shows? That's a solid concept right there. So, not a bad episode, just a missed opportunity. To be fair, the lowest level of this episode's just kinda dull. Could be worse. Could be made extremely annoying by...
Well, at least I know how to drive. You have to walk, girl. Now who's smarter? Trip to the beach last year, ring a bell? Oh, I can't believe you're bringing that up. If it wasn't for me, you'd be riding the bus to the mall. Well, if it weren't for me, you would be able to find your way to the mall. Oh, I know my way to the mall.
Oh, crispy skinned Christ.